All right, Jimmie Rivera and John Dodson have entered the octagon. This tale of the tape brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. Rivera still on the right side of 30. John Dodson will be 34 later this month. Rivera 1 inch taller than his counterpart. He will have a 2.5-inch reach advantage. All right, now for the particulars, back inside to the venerable Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding professional record, 21 wins, 9 losses. He stands 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 135.5 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, presenting the Ultimate Fighter Season 14 winner and the number 7 ranked bantamweight contender in the world, John the Magician Dodson. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 21 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 136 pounds. Fighting out of Ramsey, New Jersey, presenting the number 5 ranked bantamweight contender in the world, Jimmie El Terror Rivera. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Murgliata.
Dan Murgliata, our referee. Brittany Palmer getting us started for round 1 here of a possible 3. High stakes at 135 pounds. John Dodson felt disrespected by Jimmie Rivera, but Rivera finally signed on the dotted line, and Dodson is looking to make him pay tonight. Tonight's Fight Clock is brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. I think you hit on a lot of salient points as John Dodson was walking tonight in terms of the motivation, because his coaches feel like this training camp, there was a return to focus for Dodson.
That is what he needs. It's not a matter of him having the skills. It's a matter of him coming into this fight motivated and ferocious.
Every time guys return quick, you wonder how they're going to respond. We had that twice recently. Bisping, when he came back after the GSP fight, fought again and got beat by Kelvin. But then when Frankie got knocked out, he looked phenomenal against Cub Swanson when he came back. So you never know how these guys are going to respond to coming back after a knockout, especially when they do it really quick.
The only difference in the Frankie fight is that Frankie already had a vicious victory over Cub Swanson, and might have had more confidence coming in there.
Yes, you're right.
Only UFC finish for Jimmie Rivera came in his 2015 debut against Marcus Brimage. Dodson catches the leg, pushes Rivera down.
Oh, he tagged him.
Yep.
Jimmie trying to turn it around on him. And already we're seeing a very fast John Dodson. Motivated and looking for the finish.
Dodson fought Demetrius Johnson for the flyweight title in 2013, again in 2015, before moving up to this bantamweight division. But what Dodson has had in his back pocket always, that win over TJ Dillashaw, his UFC debut by knockout. And you got to think TJ at some point would like to get that one back.
TJ sitting on top of the mountain right now and just kind of looking down at these dudes fight each other. Dodson has always been so fast. And when he lets things go in combination, you see those types of attacks like he just hit Jimmie Rivera with.
Yeah, he was fast as a flyweight and hasn't lost a step at 135.
Very smart of Jimmie Rivera kicking the inside leg there. He'll slow him down there. If he keeps beating that leg up, it'll start to really take a toll on the movement of John Dodson.
And we saw that in his fight with Uriah Faber. He's excellent at that. And he's one of those guys that attacks that low leg kick. There he goes again.
That's multiples in round 1. Dodson smiled there. Oh, nice. Did you see him bind the leg there when he was going to lift him? Great reaction by John Dodson. He bind the leg so that Rivera couldn't get his hips up in the air. Quick reaction on the spot by John Dodson.
Dodson with a wrestling base as well, attended the University of New Mexico, wrestled there, studied criminology. Rivera keeping that right guard high.
Every time Rivera lands something real nice, Dodson gives him a smile. That means it's taking a toll on him.
Under 2 minutes to go in round one. Both fighters playing the tactical game here early. Dallas crowd hasn't had a whole lot to get restless about. Ornery bunch here right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a great night of fights. You know, calm down, guys. I mean, calm down. You guys...
Rivera with a nice right to the body and a right up top. Rivera looks very fast tonight as well.
And strong. You can see the difference in the size here. When Rivera lands, you can see the impact a little bit more than Dodson to this point.
Pretty good combination from Rivera.
Dodson's always been a guy that can really blitz you because of the speed. But Rivera's doing a good job right now countering, knowing when John's attacking, just throwing more punches than Dodson in the exchanges.
Oh! Both men landed shots there.
Under 30 seconds to go in a round that could be winnable for either party here.
Jimmie Rivera keeping the pressure. Good left hook by Rivera and another one. Two good shots by Rivera here at the end of the first. And another.
Into the corner of John Dodson. Tonight's Corner Cam brought to you by Body Armor. Make the switch to Body Armor, the official sports drink of UFC. Try their new UFC flavor, Octagon Orange, exclusively available at 7-Eleven.
All right, John. Hey, how you feel? Good.
So, every time you hit him, he's just going to hit with you.
Okay.
So hitting and exiting. Yeah. But you're way faster than he is. But he's trying to time you on the way in. So just a little fake, He'll bite, and then when he's done biting, get him.
Okay. He wants the green, you see it. I like the 9.
Ooh, and when he goes to throw, just back it up and throw your right hand, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So throw it, fake it. And then let him see what he does when you fake it. Beautiful. Breathe. Breathe deep. Beautiful. Let's go. Let's go.
Vanessa Hansen getting us started for round two. Greg Jackson and Brandon Gibson there in the corner of John Dodson.
Yeah, great advice. They're telling them that Rivera has now started to time his attacks. Throw some feints in there, because that's one thing John Dodson has not been doing. He does not feint. He does not fake to try to draw out Jimmie's reaction. He's just attacking, and Jimmie's countering him. So if he throws more feints in there, they're hoping he can draw out his reactions, and then he can land his left hand.
Rivera staying heavy with those leg kicks, working the inside of Dodson's lead leg.
Yeah, you're starting to see some redness as those shorts creep up. It is a powerful inside leg kick by Rivera.
And you got to think for Rivera, best way to put that Marlon Moraes chapter to bed, get right back in there against a fellow contender. Off to a pretty good start tonight against John Dodson.
Again.
That leg is red. He just got on long shorts, but you can see under the knee. And you see him starting to bite on the feints. He's trying to check before Jimmie even throws the kick now.
Well, it's got to be affecting his movement at this point. And that's something that John relies on heavily.
Both fighters exchanging there in the pocket, not much doing. About a minute gone by here, round two.
Check that one.
Dodson catches the leg, lands a left hand partially.
But now that John is intent on checking, Jimmie's going to have to hide that kick a little bit better. He's got to throw something before it. Jimmie Rivera is doing a great job of moving and feinting, though. Look at his head. I mean, we're talking about one of the fastest guys at 25-35 or in the entire UFC in John Dodson. And Rivera's touching him constantly because he's feinting and moving into him the whole time.
Rivera doubling up on Dodson in terms of the significant strikes landed through about 7 minutes of this one.
Dodson looked for a high kick there. Slammed into the guard.
3 minutes to go in the round. Both guys so fast, sometimes it's hard to see what lands and what doesn't. Rivera perhaps getting a little bit frustrated here.
A lot of times you can get frustrated fighting John because you want to brawl, but he's too good and too technical, and he's so good at following his game plan that no matter what you want to do, John Dodson's going to fight his fight. So he frustrates guys. And right now, he's starting to get Rivera to fight his fight, and that's why he's having more success in this round than he did in round number 1.
Still constant pressure by Rivera, and the judges will be looking at that. I mean, he's the one who's forcing the action, and he's the one who's constantly moving. Oh, Dodson just grazed his chin there with that left hand.
He's gotten closer with that left and that high kick on the last 2 occasions.
Just not enough volume from Dodson, though.
Right, and it doesn't at all dovetail with a lot of what he was saying leading up to this fight.
Well, I think it's the power of Rivera. It's got him very concerned. And the speed. Rivera is shockingly fast in this fight.
And you know when you're fighting Jimmie, you got to be ready to go 15 minutes because this dude's always in great shape.
Yeah, always. And that's what he has to be concerned with. The counters once his initial shot lands.
All right, under a minute now to go. Rivera and Dodson. Faint, heavy attack from Rivera. Looked like a groin strike there. Jimmie protested. We'll get a look at a replay here shortly, but Dan Murgliata interrupts the action.
That seemed pretty low.
Fighters to the neutral corner.
I know what you said.
Well,
all right, you ready? Let's go. Come on, time in. Let's go.
But sometimes that's enough.
Well, yeah. Even if I give you the flick, it's enough.
The flick.
I can go back. It'll be enough.
Rivera trying to kick up high.
Yeah. Just missed with the left hook over the top. There's definitely an underlying dislike between these two fighters. You can see it. Under 30 seconds now to go, round 2.
Dodson's got to do something to get Jimmie's respect. Jimmie's moving forward, and Jimmie's looking for his openings and then looking for big shots.
I think Dodson's trying to time a knee now as he goes in. He's thrown that strike twice. He just has to be very careful. See, he did it again.
Kick to the body.
And a nice job by Dodson thereafter to not allow Rivera to get the takedown.
The problem is, though, the volume of Rivera strikes could easily be winning in rounds.
So a pedestrian round there. John Dodson, Jimmie Rivera. And you see Dan Murgliata, by the way, telling John Dodson it was a clean kick.
It might be 1-1. I think you have both rounds, but it might be 1-1. Let's take this round, okay? How you feel? How you feel? Good?
Yeah, I feel good.
Tired at all?
Nah, he hit me a good round kick, but that's it. I'm
Okay, good. Breathe.
It wasn't like, it wasn't anything bad.
Yeah.
No, breathe. Don't talk.
Just move in and fucking box him. You're so much better. You're so much better, yeah. Okay. But move in, like you got crushing blows. He don't have punches as hard as you. He doesn't.
You're right. It's like straight right. You know it's coming. Okay. So roll that head kick in there. Start having fun. Jump, kick him in the chest. But start mixing it up, mix and match, so he can't just sit there waiting on that right hand. Make sense? Okay. We'll have some fun and be you. Yeah, go be you. Yeah, exactly. Let me see 5 punches in a row. That's 5.
Fight fans, check out the UFC store on your mobile device. Get your favorite fighter gear and more. Shop now and receive 15% off during tonight's fight. Use code UFC228 and start saving today. You know, you hate to overstate the importance of these 5 minutes, but given the status of this 135-pound division, if these guys want to get up to the top, gotta have this one tonight.
It's gigantic, and it's still not enough. You know, Rivera coming off the knockout to Marlon Moraes, and Dodson has had some good and bad fights in the past, but it's very important for their career.
You just don't want to be going backwards, right? At this point in such a deep division, you cannot be going backwards. And if you're Jimmie Rivera and you're a guy that had won 20 fights in a row and you're just going back, you need to be impressive. You know, he needs to pick up the pace a little bit in round 3 against John Dodson.
Dodson recovered quickly after Rivera landed a big left hand. Nice stick there by Dodson.
Dodson landed that shot as his leg was giving out. Which is incredible. But Jimmie is, there's a nice right hand by Jimmie. Jimmie's having really good effects with those leg kicks. Oof.
Rivera's moving well tonight.
He's matching him with speed, which is impressive. And he's besting him with power.
Rivera's corner wants him to get close so that he can box him. They said you're so much better. Now, Dodson's corner said just have fun. Get back to being you and have fun in there. They want him to just let it go. No more thinking. Just be John Dodson.
Yeah, that's easily said. And I don't know if it's the best strategy. I mean, I think what he's got to do is figure out a way to do something that Jimmie Rivera is not predicting. So standing in front of him, probing with that right hand, looking for the left, or looking for a left high kick, those are the only things that Jimmie Rivera has had to think about.
Right, doesn't have to worry about a level change.
Right.
And as I said off the top, John Dodson, 31st pro fight. He's never been finished. Perhaps it's time to increase that willingness to enter that pocket and get knocked out if need be.
That's easier said than done, too. I mean, the reason why he's never been finished is because he recognizes when he's in danger, whether it's the John Lineker fight or, you know, some of his other fights where he'll just use technique and stay on the outside of it. His leg just went out from under him there.
Less than 3 minutes now to decide this one.
Rivera clearly the stalker here. He's controlling the center of the octagon.
Sometimes guys are in these fights and they'll back up the entire time and fall victim to maybe a split decision. And they're very upset, but one of the first scoring criteria is octagon control. And to this point, John Dodson hasn't taken a stand and said, this is my octagon during our time. He's kind of been going back the whole time. He needs to put something on Jimmie Rivera to get him from going forward the whole time.
Yeah, in terms of like sheer volume of advancing or retreating, Jimmie Rivera has him just far, far exceeded. So we can look at it there. Jimmie Rivera 36% and John Dodson 8%. That's a big factor.
Good front kick by Dodson, and then Jimmie Rivera attacks the inside of that lead leg again. But at least on paper, it wasn't out of the realm of possibility that this matchup could play out like this a little bit.
Yes.
Given the styles of these fighters. 90 seconds now to go.
I feel like when they come together, Rivera's really throwing with intent.
Yeah.
You know, he's really, it looked like he would be willing to kind of enter the fire a little bit. But as we said, you know, John, you during the walk and you a second ago, Joe, you know, John Dodson's going to fight with the style that he trained with. And right now, that style is to counter and not take too many risks. Because Rivera's throwing. I mean, he's trying to hit him, but Dodson's, he's a magician. You know, he's in there and then he's out.
And he's felt the power of Rivera, and that's definitely got him a little bit gun shy.
There are the numbers in terms of significant strikes round by round. Rivera with a slight advantage in rounds 2 and 3. Coming up on the final 30 seconds of this one. Rivera again pressing forward, closing the distance.
But in those exchanges, Dodson does land that little left hand over and over again. He's touching him.
It's just not enough to keep him off of him.
Yeah.
Rivera's volume and his constant control of the center of the octagon and constant advancing. I mean, neither guy's done anything huge.
Oh, nice right hand from Jimmie Rivera. Dodson working the body late. Some action after the horn, not a ton of it during the fight. Been a night full of highlights in Dallas. That one not necessarily among them. This replay brought to you by Nemiroff. Bold character since 1872.
This was a big factor in the fight, I think. The inside leg kick of Jimmie Rivera, he used it many, many times and took a lot of the movement away. There's a good body kick by John Dodson. And here's some good striking from Jimmie Rivera. Good solid jab there. Good right hand. The surprising thing in the fight, to me, was that Jimmie was able to match Dodson with speed.
Nice to see them bury the hatchet there a little bit. Jimmie Rivera, in some respects, didn't want the Dodson fight because he was chasing down the Dominic Cruzes and those guys in the division. But after what happened against Marlon Moraes back in June, beggars can't necessarily be choosers. Rivera took the Dodson fight tonight and largely dictated what happened in there, champ.
Yeah, I mean, he went forward the entire time. He tried to engage, but John Dodson fought his fight. And because he fought his fight, we're waiting for what I imagine is a pretty close decision.
Let's get you that official decision, brought to you by Metro PCS. Get knockout coverage of the UFC on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. With the scorecards, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges score the contest 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28 to the winner by unanimous decision, Jimmie El Rivera.
So Jimmie Rivera came in number 5 in the world. He gets the job done tonight, 6-1 inside the octagon. He has now won a remarkable 21 of his last 22 fights. Jimmie Rivera, your winner by unanimous decision tonight.